What do you want to do tonight? Who you're smelling at?
A highly successful woman once told me, "My love don't cost a thing." While I typically don't take relationship or financial advice from JLo, she has a lot of truth behind this. Some of my best dates were dates that didn't cost me an arm or a leg to pay for. These weren't over-the-top restaurants, expensive movie theaters, or anything that requires a lot of cash. When it really comes down to it, do you really think that she reminisces over that taste of that fancy cocktail or those meals at a hip restaurant downtown? Alright, maybe she does just a little. But the honest truth is that by the end of the day, she's gonna be thinking about the smiles that you gave her, the great conversations that you had, and how you made her laugh. These are the moments that are free and priceless. Of course, sometimes fancy things are fun, and sometimes you have to blow some dough to make it more special. But that doesn't mean that you cannot have as much fun without spending a week's pay for a couple of hours of us time. It takes finesse to ball on a budget. This video was made in collaboration with Adventures in Us. Kevin and his girlfriend Alyssa have a great YouTube channel where they break down their weekly portfolio, market updates, and their fire journey. Plus, their humor is hilarious.
Portfolio over here is starting to recover from last week, but it looks like our budget probably isn't.
So give their channel some love because they're making a video similar to this one. I'll put all of their info in the description below. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Number 1. Rock climbing. Rock climbing can be fairly expensive, especially when you factor in gear and memberships. But for internet bargain hunters like me, Groupon always has great deals and many date ideas that you can do. We were able to snatch up a deal for $30 for the two of us, which also includes intro lessons and gear rental. This kind of date are for people who are adventurous and like a physical challenge. So if you dislike the ideas of heights, having your forearms feel like jello, and breaking a couple nails, then you may want to skip this date. Not only is it a fairly inexpensive date, you can also dress comfortably. Who doesn't like a date where you can just wear gym clothes? What makes rock climbing a great date is that you get a detailed look at each other's personality. The way they climb are great indicators of how they approach things in everyday life. They could be timid, confident, or competitive. Another thing that I like about rock climbing is that there are natural breaks. While they're climbing, you can take your time to check them out, or watch for their safety. And if the date went well, you can grab something to eat afterwards. And if it didn't, you can always have an easy exit. Number 2. Free museum days. Do museums make you think of long, boring talks about old things and plenty of silence looking at sculptures that all look the same? That's hardly the truth. Museums are one of those places either you love or you hate. I personally love them. Hell, we even got some of our wedding pictures at a museum. My wife and I always love looking at things related to history and culture. There are endless things to see and talk about while you're in a museum. Art brings up different emotions and memories. My wife and I have known each other for quite some time now, but there's still a lot of new things that we learn about each other's history and upbringing. If you're going more of a romantic vibe and less like a school field trip, opt for going later in the day. Many places have extended hours in the summer or on the weekends. It's a perfect place to get lost and roam. And the best part? Many museums have free days of the week or month that you could get in absolutely free. Number 3. Have a beach or lake day. I live in Southern California and I'm blessed to be surrounded by beautiful oceans, pristine beaches, and all around great weather. So if you live anywhere near the coast or any body of water, which is nearly 50% of Americans do, it's a really easy and cheap date to do. And if you don't have a beach or lake near where you live, then basically anything outdoors is fairly cheap. You can spend at least half of your day or more at a beach or a lake. You can either sunbathe, swim, or just people watch. My wife, she loves these type of dates because it's so relaxing. Many times we bring sandwiches and snacks and have lunch on the beach. The downside about bringing food on the beach is those damn seagulls. Here's a picture of me and my wife eating a sandwich. Just about 5 seconds after I took this picture, a seagull swooped in and grabbed the sandwich right out of my hands. Them seagulls in California have some cojones. Number 4. Free outdoor concerts. You usually see more free outdoor concerts during the summer months and sometimes at night during when it's cooler. Since I live in LA, there's often a bunch of free night concerts that happen on a Santa Monica pier, which goes hand in hand with having a beach day. So depending on what kind of music you're into, this may not be for everyone. There are times where we do know the artist or a cultural experience that we'd like to check out. You don't have to live in a big city to experience free outdoor concerts. I live in a small city before and it's still pretty awesome as well. Even though sometimes the music may not be your style, it's still cool just to be outside, to bring a blanket or sit on a little chair and sneak in some beer and just relax. Just being in a different environment is an experience in itself. Number 5. Art festivals. No, I'm not talking about Burning Man. What I'm talking about is local art festivals and art walks. Personally, this is one of my favorite types of date night because there's very little planning and structure that you have to do for this type of date. You're really just walking around with you and your partner and just looking at random things. Actually, one of the very first dates that I took my wife on was a downtown LA art walk. Since you made it this far, you know that my wife and I are pretty into art. So that's something that we have a shared interest in. Some people may think looking at art and museums are boring, but we've always been fascinated with it. With these kind of festivals, you really get to know the other person's creativity and perspectives on artistic work. Hopefully I didn't sound too much like a douche, but we do enjoy roaming the streets together and looking at art. Number 6. County fairs. Probably out of all of the dates already listed, this one's probably a little bit more expensive just due to the fact that you have to pay for tickets to get in. For a couple, you can spend anywhere between $20 to $40 just for tickets. So there's actually a few ways that you can save on admission. Usually county fairs are a pretty big event, so you probably could get discount tickets from schools, grocery stores, and for certain days of the week, they may have discounted tickets for different types of groups of people. So if you factor in fried Oreos, turkey legs, or donut burgers, you can spend quite a bit of money here if you want to. Minus the food and rides, there are plenty of things that you can do for free. There are usually many different kinds of art exhibits, shows, and the best part, petting zoos. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. Number 7. Sit-in audience for a TV show. This is something that I wanted to do for such a long time, but haven't got the chance to do it yet, since the times to actually sit in for a show is always the worst time to drive. I know this type of date is going to be very specific towards people who live in major cities such as LA or New York, because that's where most of the TV shows and movies are produced. So since I live in LA, a lot of talk shows are hosted in Hollywood, so you can sit in as an audience for shows like The Jimmy Kimmel Show or The Late Show with James Corden. Even though if you don't live in a major city like LA or New York, if you ever come to visit, it's still a cheap date or event to do because it's completely free. So to sit in for free, you can go to oneiota.com and just register for a show that you would like to watch. And all you would have to do is list a show right before the show starts. Remember, these free events work on a first come, first served basis, so it's best to arrive early. Hopefully this video satisfied you for your weekly dose of financial entertainment. Come hang out with me some more at my videos over here.